Good day everyone and welcome back to GRZ or Global Rights Zone. Imagine being born in the Philippines during Spanish colonial rule, becoming a doctor, writer, scientist, artist, and scholar, and eventually becoming a symbol of Filipino freedom. That was José Rizal. Before we continue, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos from Global Rights Zone. Now, let's get back to José Rizal. Who was José Rizal? José Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda was born on June 19, 1861, in Calamba, Laguna. He became one of the most important figures in Philippine history, and is widely recognized as the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal lived during a time when the Philippines was under Spanish colonial rule. Filipinos faced discrimination, limited political rights, and abuses by colonial authorities and some members of the clergy. Instead of leading an armed revolution, Rizal believed that education, peaceful reform, and national awareness could help transform Filipino society. His family and heritage. Rizal came from a relatively educated and well-to-do Filipino family. His father was Francisco Mercado, a farmer and businessman, while his mother was Teodora Alonso Realonda, an educated woman who strongly influenced Rizal's intellectual development. Rizal was the seventh of 11 children. His family valued education, and Rizal began showing exceptional intelligence at a very young age. He learned to read and write early, and developed an interest in languages, literature, science, and the arts. His mother's influence was especially important in his early education. His education. Rizal studied at Ateneo Municipal de Manila, where he excelled academically. He later studied medicine at the University of Santo Tomas before traveling to Spain to continue his education. In Europe, Rizal studied medicine and eventually specialized in ophthalmology, partly because he wanted to help treat his mother's failing eyesight. But medicine wasn't his only interest. He studied and practiced languages, literature, history, science, painting, sculpture, and fencing. Rizal eventually became proficient in numerous languages, and was known for his extraordinary intellectual ability. His principles. Rizal believed that Filipinos deserved education, equality, dignity, and political representation. He opposed the abuses of colonial rule, but did not initially call for violent independence. Instead, he supported peaceful reform. He believed that an educated population could recognize injustice and work toward improving society. His message was essentially simple. A nation becomes stronger when its people become educated and aware of their rights. Education equals strength. His novels. Rizal used literature as a powerful weapon. Back in 1887, he published his first novel, Noli me Tangere. The novel exposed corruption, abuse, and social injustice under Spanish colonial rule. His second novel, El Filibusterismo, was published in 1891. It was, a bit darker and more political, showing the consequences of oppression and failed reform. These novels didn't simply tell stories. They encouraged Filipinos to question the society they lived in. Rizal's writing helped develop a stronger sense of Filipino national identity. Did Rizal want revolution? This is honestly one of the most misunderstood parts of his life. Rizal supported reform and strongly opposed injustice, but he did not advocate the violent revolution led by the Katipunan. In fact, when the revolution began in 1896, Rizal was arrested and accused of being involved with the rebellion. He denied supporting violent revolution. Nevertheless, Spanish authorities considered his writings and influence dangerous. His exile in Dapitan. In 1892, Rizal was arrested and exiled to Dapitan, in Mindanao. Instead of simply waiting for his exile to end, he continued working. He practiced medicine, taught students, studied nature, farmed, built projects, and became involved in the local community. Rizal even helped develop a water supply system and established a school for boys. His time in Dapitan showed that his ideas weren't limited to writing. He believed in education and improving communities through practical action. His final days were marked by turmoil and courage. In 1896, the Philippine Revolution against Spain began. Rizal was arrested and eventually returned to Manila. He was tried for rebellion, sedition, and conspiracy. Despite denying involvement in the violent revolution, he was sentenced to death. On December 30th, 1896, José Rizal was executed by firing squad at Bagumbayan, which is now known as Rizal Park. He was only 35 years old. His death shocked many Filipinos and, honestly, it strengthened the growing movement for independence. Did you know? Rizal was a polyglot. He studied and used numerous languages throughout his life, including Spanish, English, French, German, Latin, Greek, and several Philippine languages. He was also an artist. Rizal created drawings, paintings, sculptures, and even carved a small religious figure known as the Sacred Heart while studying at Ateneo. He was a doctor, specializing in ophthalmology, and treated patients during his years in Dapitan. He discovered a new species as well. While studying nature in Dapitan, Rizal collected specimens and sent them to European scientists. Several species were named after him, including a small flying dragon called Draco Rizali. He was an inventor, designing and creating various practical devices, and he had a strong interest in engineering and technology. And he also loved sports. He practiced fencing, shooting, gymnastics, and other physical activities. Why is José Rizal important? Well, Rizal didn't lead an army. He didn't become president. He didn't fight Spain on a battlefield. Instead, he used education, writing, intelligence, and ideas. He showed that a person could challenge injustice without holding a weapon. His writings helped Filipinos recognize their shared identity and question the inequalities of colonial society. Rizal's legacy is not simply about dying for the country. It's also about thinking, learning, creating, and standing for what you believe is right. If you remember only 3 things about José Rizal: he used education to fight ignorance, he used literature to expose injustice, and he inspired Filipinos to believe in their own identity and dignity. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more historical stories from Global Rights Zone. Be human. Be kind.